Shalom. Giving our praise to my Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Wakah Kradash, the minors of the apostles and the elders that rule well. Peace and many salutations to you. I count this total in this truth. Now, there's a port strike scheduled to happen October the 1st, which is in a few days now, actually, that I think of it. We've been seeing a downtick in the transportation industry, really from 4 years ago, with the whole C-19 situation. Transportation was slowed down, drastically, and the cost of business increased for a lot of owner-operators, which induced them to shut down the various businesses. Okay. Now so there's been a downtick in these various employers hiring, new workers. And the reason why is because there's a few reasons, it's the cost of business so high they have to, ensure that they just, keep it low by giving various workers that they already have more work versus hiring somebody new. The freight cost, is, killing companies also. Gas is killing companies also. You know what I'm saying? So various companies are trying to keep costs down. I think we're entering into the fourth quarter. I believe that we are in the fourth quarter of business. And for the fourth consecutive quarter, hiring, within the transportation industry, has been on a decrease. Now we have this situation going on, with the ports, and this could potentially be catastrophic for not only the transportation industry, but consumers. Okay. So let me play this for you guys,
The International Longshoremen's Union, which represents about 45,000 workers at ports across the East and Gulf Coasts, is set to strike next week. That's if they can't come to a deal by the September 30th deadline. To discuss what impact a prolonged strike could have on the country's supply chains and the broader economy, we've got Jason Miller. He's a supply chain management professor over at Michigan State University. Jason, thanks for being here. I want to just jump into the potential impact that this could have, right? To what extent, and for viewers listening who maybe are not familiar with the supply chain challenges and economic impact of a strike like this, talk to me about kind of the degree of the potential impact of this.
Yeah, the degree of impact really is going to be a function of how long a potential strike takes place. If we're looking at 24, 48 hours, it wouldn't be that disruptive on the big scale of things. And again, that's always taking everything back, thinking about the type of disruptions we saw in 2021 and 2022. On the other hand, you start getting into a week or more, you're going to have an extensive pile up, and you can think about this as each additional day at that point, it's exponentially longer to unwind the situation. So a few day strike, not that bad, but an extended strike will be very disruptive, especially for importers in certain sectors.
Jason, how likely do you think that is?
Certainly at this point right now, given both sides are not talking and they're very far off in terms of wages, in terms of discussion of automation, it seems likely that we will.
Then that's why they are on strike, because of wages and automation. automation is basically the port using AI to complete certain tasks that are needed instead of physical workers. So AI, as you can see, is changing the dynamics of the economy. You know, and I don't see Edom slowing down, and I don't think they're going to slow down in the ports. If anything, this will give these various companies, more incentive to go harder with AI. So they don't have to pay these people or deal with these people. In the port, in these various ports.
Have a strike at this point. So my base case right now is there will be a strike. It's really a question of how long will that take place once it would begin.
What's your base case for the longevity of the strike and just the degree to which they do kind of have bargaining power given the degree of impact?
Yeah, so right now, my base case would be we would get a couple days in, and I find it difficult to believe that the Biden administration will not invoke the Taft-Hartley Act and essentially have a commission form, deliver a report, and at that point, there'll be an 80-day cooling off period. We would expect some slowdowns over that period because the workers may not be working quite as fast. But it's very difficult for me to see how this plays out, let's say a 2-week extended strike, given the amount of disruption that would take place.
So then, given the fact that maybe it's not going to take that long, but let's play devil's advocate. Let's say that this strike actually happens. It does last for 1 or 2 weeks. Inflationary pressures that we could see as a result, economic impact, GDP hit that we could see as a result of a prolonged strike. I guess more accurately, Jason, what does that look like?
Yeah, so from an inflationary standpoint, I'm not very worried about that. When you look right now at the piece of the CPI that's still the biggest driver of year-over-year inflation, it's that shelter component. And we know that's coming down because of the trend of a new tenant rent index that's produced by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Where we do start to see more of an impact, though, is in certain industrial sectors. So on the export side, by far the most affected commodity is plastic resins. So we're going to start seeing, reduced exports because right now, year to date, we've shipped over 6 million metric tons of resin out of the U.S. in containers.
Which plastic is used for numerous things, infrastructure. You could even go into, materials on cars. So this is going to affect the exports of the American economy also, which is a part of its GDP. It's gross domestic GDP, gross domestic production. I believe that's the acronym. So this could potentially have a very, very big impact, a negative impact on the economy. We have to see how it plays out, but we know that this is a part of prophecy, the grinding ceasing in the latter days. Okay, before Yahweh Shai returns. So we have to just keep watching and keep praying, and we're looking for things to get bad. So let me get a scripture for you guys. Now, this is Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Right, so the grinding or the economy, is ceasing or decreasing. We see this going on in the latter days, man. Production is slowing down, and a huge catalyst to that is the fact that they're ushering in a new way of the economy, which AI will be a major part of it. We're just going to leave a substantial amount of people unemployed, right? So we know that universal basic income is on its way, and we know with that introduction, that could be another catalyst to what the MOTB spoken about in Revelation 13 and 16. But in order for these various things to come into fruition, the old way has to be disrupted, inducing people to cry out for help. And that help will be, again, that C to the H to the I to the P. You dig? Okay? So when we see these things, we understand what time we're living in. Okay? Pray this edifying. Shalom.